Everyone, Luis Concepcion here from Strategic Profit Line Trading, coming to you with the plan of the week for week number 13 after taking a week off. Here's our disclosures. This content is intended for educational purposes only. I am not a financial advisor. This information is not tailored to any one individual. Past performance does not guarantee future results, and all investments involve risk. As always, I'll go ahead and cover the news, provide a market overview of the indices and what a week did we have. Earnings, we got 160 companies reporting earnings this week. However, I don't have much for you this week. I'll talk to that. And part of the reason is Friday is the market is closed and we just don't have large names reporting this week. So we will focus on the indices. Moving into the news, as you can see, first thing on Monday morning, we got Jerome Powell speaking at 7:30, so that should be interesting. See if he brings some positivity to the market on Monday, and that's going to be 30 minutes after, hour after the open, actually. So that's very interesting, given that the market just dropped and we are currently at 10% on the S&P 500. More of that when we get into the charts. Then on Tuesday, for those of you trading futures and forwards, you can see the Canadian dollar has their GDP pre-market, so be mindful of that. And then 30 minutes after the open, we have our JOLTS job opening report. So that should bring some volatility into the market 30 minutes after the open. On Wednesday, we have non-farm employment change and core retail sales, both reports. And all three reports are going to be reported pre-market. So possible volatility Wednesday morning. And then we got our ISM manufacturing report at 7 o'clock. So pretty much you can see we're already starting with a lot of volatility for the week. We got Jerome Powell speaking on Monday. Nothing for the US. We got our jobs opening on Tuesday, three reports pre-market on Wednesday. Then we come to Thursday and we have unemployment claims. That's going to be pre-market as well. And then on Friday, we have it's the first Friday of the month, so we have non-farm employment exchange and unemployment rate. So anticipated volatility every day this week. It's the quarterly and it's the first quarter end as well. So there's a lot of things changing in regards to ETFs and closing out the quarter, in addition to reconciliation of ETFs and mutual funds. So starting with the SPX or the S&P 500, you can see the last 2 days, Thursdays and Friday, were a sell-off, and from peak to trough, from top to bottom, we are officially the SPX is down 9.37%. The SPY has actually hit 10%, so it's going to be very interesting if they're going to bring positivity to the market this week or they're going to continue with all the anticipated reports. We're going to keep falling. With that being said, the first demand zone I have for you is 6345.77 to 6286.79. It's going to be in the SPX. In the event that we continue to fall due to the conflict overseas and Jerome Powell speaking on Monday, the next level I have for you is going to be at 6213.75 to 61.72. Sorry, 6172. Don't usually do this, but I'm going to go ahead and cover the SPY as well for those of you who do not trade the SPX. As you can see on the SPY as well, we are entering the zone. So futures market will dictate this weekend on what the week is going to hold. So we actually close into this level on Friday. That's going to be 633.46 to 626.04. With that being said, the next level I have for you, if this level does not hold, is going to be 603.12 to 591.89, which coincides with the psychological level of 600. And supply still being at 675.83 to 698.72. There are supply zones on the lower time frames. However, share that with my members. If you want to know how to become a member of SPL, feel free to check out the links in the description. Now, moving to the NASDAQ. All right, so the NASDAQ has room to fall. We fell into this level here. Not too confident with what's happening with Meta, Microsoft, and Google. There's a possibility that this holds. The futures market again will dictate that. 23,252.93 to 22,982.97. In the event this fails, I'm going to deem this an aggressive level, so delete it. And the next level I have for you is going to be at 22,715 to 22,381.61. Supply all the way at 25,480.60 to 25,853.28 on the macro side, supply side. So from peak to trough, the NASDAQ is down 12%. Let me cover the QQQs for you. For those of you who trade the Qs, you can see we're coming into this level that I identified. That's going to be 559.07 to 550.61. Again, not sure if they're going to bring positivity into the market or they're going to wait till Thursday and recover the market due to the day off on Friday. However, utilize this level with caution, 559.07 to 550.61. And then on the macro picture, the next level I have for you is going to be at 535.50 to 522.01, with supply being at 619.39 to 637.89. Now, the Qs are down from peak to trough 12% as well. 11.94, let's just call it 12%. And there we go. All right, moving on to the Dow Jones or the DJX, 444.28 to 437.97 on the demand side, supply being all the way at 500.92 to 505.24. Next, moving on to the almighty RUT. So RUT's a little bit stronger, holding on. They haven't sold off the RUT yet, or the IWM for those of you who trade that. 2383. Let's call it 2383 even to 2304.27 on the demand side. On the supply side, 25.86 to 2736.88. First company from an earnings perspective, as I got for you, is McCormick. We are in a demand zone, 53.52 to 44.22. On the supply side, 68.49 to 72.44. They report on Tuesday morning before the market opens. Next company I have for you is going to be Nike. They report Tuesday afternoon after the closing bell. On the demand side, 49.63 to 45 even. In the event this level fails, we have the 40.05 to 34.43. On the supply side, pretty high. I'm going to sit here and say Nike has a lot of room to run from these levels. However, the last level that held, that's going to be at 77.14 to 80.27. All right, moving on. Next company I have for you is going to be Restorations Hardware, ticker symbol RH. We are in a demand zone. This is the level that's been holding for quite some time. This level has worked about 4 or 5 times, so utilize it with a big level, 143.26 to 72.83. Going to be hard to break this level, so that's going to be your demand. And on the supply side, all the way up at 364.73 to 389.81. As you can see, we bounced it from this level once, twice, and now we're sitting in this level for the 3rd time. Next company I have for you, ticker symbol LW, approaching this demand zone right here. Ooh, sorry about that. That demand level being 38.97 to 34.02 on the demand side. On the supply side, 60.62 to 63.39. Next company I have for you is going to be MSC, ticker symbol MSM. On the demand side, 76.46 to 72.93. On the supply side, 98.20 to 100.33, with a subsequent level at 103.46 to 105.80. Next company I have for you reporting Wednesday Wednesday afternoon is going to be Penguin, ticker symbol PENG. This trade worked for us previously. On the demand side, 15.36 to 14.13 for those of you looking for a cheaper stock to trade, and supply all the way at 28.53 to 29.80. Last company I have for you is going to be Thursday. It's going to be Lindsay, ticker symbol LNN. On the demand side, 94.87 to 80.74. On the supply side, 150.48 to 159.71. Gonna do it for me in the charts this week. Again, a short week. Markets are closed on Friday. We are dealing with the conflicts overseas. See if we get out of this conflict to see if the markets recover or if Jerome Powell has something positive to say on Monday morning to relieve the markets from this, what people would think is a blood clot, but we're only just down 10 and 10 and 15% respectively. Still have a possibility to go a lot lower. But this might be a recovery week in the interim, right before earnings seasons picks up next week. Feel free to get contact me if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And as always, till next time, happy trading.